started. Candace, there's only three of us, so we got people, we're good. Yeah, we're good. All right, thank you for being here today. First thing on the agenda is the notice of agenda of public meeting today. Elk Meadow Special Service District Administrative Control Board, the Beaver County, Utah. And this is something that we have to do, and David has a budget. Yeah, he's got the budget here that we will be finalizing and
no, we don't have to have a public hearing on the tentative budget. It's just a presentation of the tentative budget for approval.
Okay.
We approve the final budget next meeting.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you ready to go? So I didn't look down far enough here. First thing on the agenda is review and approve. October 27th. Hold still.
We've got 1 minute.
Review and approve October 27th, 2023 minutes. Any changes or deletions or anything that we need to work on in the minutes? Okay. Jane had none. How about you, Paul? Okay. Can't hardly hear me. Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 27th.
Okay, do we have a motion? Do we have a motion to approve? Do we have a second? Second. Wade, seconded. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Review and approve bills paid since last approval. Next on the agenda. Mr. White.
Okay, this is the list. The first half of the list was approved at our last meeting, and the bottom half of the list have been written since the last meeting. So we need to take a look at those and approve those, or question those, or comment, whatever. The most significant expenditures we have at this time have to do with the two projects that are ongoing. The checks been written to Rollins and Sunrise, but we haven't received funding from the Division of Drinking Water, so they haven't been released yet. Those checks have been written, and the others are just normal operating expenses that we have at this time. There's nothing other than those that are out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Those are the bills, and then the next page shows the accounts payable. And one thing that carries over from last time is this $7,700 due to Aston McAfee for the locator service. And it's my feeling, and I thought someone was going to talk to Nate Robinson about putting that on the change order so that it could be paid out of the project funds.
I don't know if you did or not.
Somebody was going to, I think it was you.
That's why I said we didn't do it. I'll get after him. I'll give him a call.
Well, it seems logical that should come out of the project.
Yeah, it should. Definitely. Matter of fact, that locator stuff in all regards is helped us a lot this year. That was money well spent. Okay.
So those are the bills that I have in my possession that need to be paid. The bottom half of the list shows our checking accounts and accounts receivable. So if there are any questions, I'll try to answer them. If not, we need a motion to approve.
So the common equipment was an internet supply and Chilton product. Remind me that the Honda is like it's
Interwest Supplies, that was,
8,000.
Tire change.
the 8,900 to Interwest was for tire change for the loader that we purchased.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Schultzen had to do with, help me on this, Brandon.
The water pipe, PRVs, just parts for the water system that we have.
It was mainly a PRV thing, wasn't it?
Most of that was a PRV.
Okay, great, thanks.
And then down below, there's Mountain Land Supplies, that was for, water system parts as well.
There have been a lot of parts, haven't there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. We need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
okay. Then moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed?
You going down here, David, or go back to the agenda?
the budget review.
We can review the tentative budget now if you'd like.
Sure. Do it while we're doing.
I kind of wanted to read sideways.
I'll fix it.
You're playing tricks on us today.
He sent it sideways.
Okay, the revenue, the projected revenue is just based on our latest quarterly billing, with the exception of road maintenance services. I put in, for your consideration, 10% increase in road service fees, which would mean that the individual owners would pay 100, they're currently paying 100, it would go up to 110 per connection. The improvement assessment, our annual payment for that bond, the $4 million bond, is going to be the first year is $167,000. So I propose that we reduce the current assessment of $135 down to $115, reduce it by $20 per quarter per connection, and that would give us, if you scroll down a little bit, that would give us, right, I go to the bottom of this list. That would give us $167,000 to pay the loan payment, which includes interest, and then $5,000 that would add to our reserve, just for contingencies.
That's because we haven't up the service to debt at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is the proposed reduction in the improvement fee a function of the unexpected interest rate arbitrage, or project is under budget, or we overestimated in the first place? What's leading to that?
It was overestimated in the first place. But we still need a little cushion there, because you can't count on everybody paying on it.
Hey, David, so we've got the debt service reserve at 0 here, and then my question was is for unanticipated cost overruns next year, where does that money come from? I mean, I think you go back to CIP if there's some cost overrun, but that's not a deep well, right? So I guess my concern is decreasing the rate now, if there may be cost overruns, and don't get skeptical, but there'll probably be cost overruns next year. Would we be better off just leaving the rates where they are and building up the reserve a little bit more?
I guess that will be for the board to decide.
Well, I think that, if I understand correctly, I think maybe it would be important to hear an update on the improvement project. Because there are two things and we talked a little bit about this last month, but between the interest rate arbitrage and then the discovery that one major segment of the project, the replacing of the line from Poplar, is probably not necessary anymore.
At least
Or
half
at least
of
to
that.
the extent of what we
Yeah,
thought.
at least half of that.
I think, and then I would assume, although I don't have the project budget in front of me, but the project budget should have a contingency element to it as well.
Yes, it does.
So I think that probably David, this might not be why he did it, but what I'm seeing, the likelihood of there being a cost overage is extremely low, and the certainty that there's already cost savings is cost reduction of what we expected is already happening, so it probably does make sense.
We've been earning a good deal of interest on that money that's with the public treasurer's office, so.
And that's not gonna change.
So it will decrease as we pay the contractors, but it has been significant.
And if that's what we have, that's the way you want to go.
David, what do we do with customers? So I guess I hear Shane's point that if there's a certain portion of your cover, that we may not need or may not incur, and that's, I remember that now, and that's great. But just out of curiosity, like if we had significant cost overruns for unforeseen reasons, like what happens? How do we deal with that if we actually go over?
Well, one way we could deal with that is that we have the initial $135 per connection per quarter has generated in our bank account $386,000. So we have that cushion right there.
And I think where the discipline comes in is wanting to reduce revenues, which I think makes sense. I think that the auditors and the rest of us would be happy for that. But would be to not rush to pay back this extremely cheap debt that is like 1%.
No, we wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how you deal with your cost overruns.
That's right.
You might not be collecting as much, but you're also not paying it back. So the cash is still there, until we decide we won't need it.
Well, it doesn't have a lot to do with the project, it's just basically they say, we estimated when we set this fee last year, and maybe we set it a little high, so we're making a little adjustment on that.
And you also plan, like you said, for, anything contingencies that might come along. You plan for that, so in the contract.
Oh, that's tough. I didn't even understand that, but I see what you're saying there too. Beyond whatever is built into the project budget in terms of the contingency, David himself, in assessing the improvement fees, built a little cushion as well, and you're just releasing some of that cushion in effect.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Rich?
What percentage of completion are we at that we're worried about on the backside, something else happening?
You tell us, not a whole lot, is there? The main things we've gotten done, it would be.
Most of the big stuff's done right now, but until you're like right on that finish line, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Like they could run into more problems next year when they come back and start digging things up. And so I would say they're more than 50% of the way done, but
What would happen if you left it at 135 in the end? What would happen then? Do you have excess
Just build up
revenue?
more money into the service districts that you could have in your
District, you have, that's right.
What?
Just build up more money in the service district's bank accounts that you could otherwise have in your bank accounts.
Yeah, but
Be better
So
than
you-
ours.
would you have to refund that, or could you use that?
We're trying to reduce the fees and it's role
Would
reversal.
we have to read it?
Would you have to refund that because it's specific to the project, or could you reallocate that to other projects as a service district?
I mean, it's just general,
You can't-
money that comes in.
It's just our water fee, so, we just, it goes into the water budget, and so then we have extra money at the end, we would use it for water purposes. You might buy something, whether it's equipment, you might,
Meters are, yeah,
maybe this is something you might buy.
we're gonna be discussing that today.
That's really something. So it's just
Now, is that, they call that the village down there, what do they call it?
West
West
Village.
Village.
The whole thing's West Village.
That's what I thought, I mean,
I came up with the term called Merchant Creek at some point, that's what that creek is called.
Yeah.
That was meant to, the homes in Merchant Creek were the homes that weren't year-round. And that was simply to
So
make it
that's
easier to
changed.
understand, and then everything else is West Village. The whole thing's called West Village,
Yeah,
because of
I thought so.
everything up there. except for-
Some people refer to it as Grizzly Ridge, but that's not
Mhm.
right.
Right.
I call it
There's no ridge with, in the
It's
area.
Grizzly, just call it Grizzly, yeah.
It's because of all the grizzlies I've seen over the years.
I think that road was originally called Grizzly Ridge Road, the highway wasn't it?
Oh, no, I think the ridge is Grizzly Ridge.
What's that?
I think the ridge is Grizzly Ridge.
Yeah.
Oh, the ridge is
On the map.
Yeah.
They were probably down there at some point.
I don't know.
Right. I'll just point out to you,
Where do you want me to take this?
just at the top of the, right there. In order for this to work, we have to use the carryover from 23 into 24. And the carryover comes because, we received the $4 million, but we haven't spent it all. So there's that much left to carry to spend in the next budget year.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think they'll finish it next year?
Both projects or just the one?
You tell me, I'm asking.
I think if they can get a good enough early start on it, both those projects should be done next year.
The string isn't that big of a deal compared to what they did. Running pipe is the hardest thing, how much pipe you ran?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the hardest part, and building that,
Sure.
that was different.
You guys saw what these guys have been doing, it's phenomenal. They've really done a good job, and a hard job for a lot of time they had to do it. When I called him yesterday, I said, what's going on? He said, not much. And I said, what?
We had an easy day.
So this is just a tentative budget, but it still needs board approval. Next board meeting, we'll finalize it.
Just make adjustments.
Yeah.
We'll also be doing, amending the 2022 budget, that's why there'll be a lot of adjustments there too.
Right.
David, can I ask a question on revenue?
Yeah.
The improvement assessments and the special assessment area payments, those are revenues because they're what the district has collected from the property owners.
Yes, we're
Correct.
collecting those.
And those are only related to both of those projects, those didn't exist 2 years ago.
Right,
Okay.
that's correct.
So the pure play economics, the true revenues of the service district are just under 370,000?
Right,
Okay, so it wasn't for projects.
that'd be right. You can see, if you look across there, you can see that, we have received $175,000 in interest this year. And most of that is because of the $4 million. And so that gives us some leeway there too for the project.
You know, if there is an arbitrage,
There is
about
$175,000
they can pay.
This is America, it's capitalism at its finest.
There are arbitrage rules, but
It's
we're
just timing,
within the
timing,
guidelines.
one dollar cents. On the other side.
But there are arbitrage rules, and I would highlight what the analysis is tonight, but we're still within the guidelines.
Good. Percentage wise?
Right. Okay. Are there any other questions? If not, we need board approval of this tentative budget.
I make a motion that we approve the tentative budget.
Do we have a second? All second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, David. Oh,
You want to come down to that, David?
Pardon me?
sunrise engineering.
Oh, this, yeah, turn that around.
You send them to me sideways.
Oh, I had no choice. one is the improvement project, and on the right-hand column, you can see that there's $1,900,000 left in the construction budget. There's $73,000 in the retaining, and contingency,
I'll scroll down.
Yeah.
they,
182,000.
there's $182,000 in contingency, so I really think unless there's something really unforeseen that's major, I think we're covered.
So left in budget, is that approximately how much is left in cash for this particular project?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you get, like 4.5%?
Go down, I've written down here, the contractor has a sheet that shows what he figures is the percentage of completion, but the numbers are printed so small that they can't be seen without a magnifying glass. That's what we do. But just based on the numbers that we have here, and I think what happens is they just make those numbers come out. But his sheet showed that there was 43% complete, and we have 57 remaining in the budget. So I think they just
Based on number.
I just think they force those numbers to come out that way.
The relative cost of the project,
Yeah.
the percentage of the whole project.
Yeah. But you can see there's in the construction budget, there's the $1,900,000 plus the retainage.
David, what was the interest rate on the drinking water project?
I think 195, I think.
Remember we were mad, they bumped us by like half a point or something?
Sure glad I'm not trying to get that now.
Really?
Kills.
They got kind of lucky.
I call it work.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. So, board member expiring terms. Leo?
This is the last resolution that was adopted, shows the terms on it. We've got 3 members that terms are up. 2 of them have already sent me an email saying they want to serve a new term. I think that we're in the middle of these 2 projects. We have to keep the board intact and make a recommendation to the county commission to renew those 3 terms.
Did anyone else express an interest? Shane, no, Paul?
Okay.
Are they 2-year terms?
4.
Anything else on that?
That's it. That's where this
Yeah,
project,
it's
I don't know.
just a standard review, right?
We have to make a motion to make a recommendation to the county commissioners and also, sort it up,
Well, I read it, but I still don't know where to go.
It's done you and Leo then, figure it out.
But they withdrawn,
Right on there, too.
we approved somebody else there, but he's replaced him for the Sitlow position, so
Yeah,
we'll probably fix all of that when we do the resolution.
yeah, we fixed that for sure.
We do us all the board meeting,
I don't know,
Thanks, Leo.
Need a motion?
Yeah, any motion?
I'll make the motion that we recommend to the Beaver County Commission that they approve the 3 expiring board members for another 4-year term and fix Ron.
Change it back to me.
Thanks, Greg, thanks, Ron.
Do we have a second?
I think it would be appropriate for you to second if you do agree to it.
question, is it too early to make one, to put one of the mountain meetings on there? One of the mountain meetings, oh, you can have it at the shop, like we do, for the fire station? I don't think so. When did we have it this year?
August, but either August or June would probably be better before summer starts and all the projects start.
Just a suggestion. Yeah.
I don't think it's that position.
Should we do that?
Yeah, you wanna do it in June, I'm fine.
Do we have to vote on that?
The beginning of the construction season.
Well, I think if it's one or
August
two
or
weeks.
Just put it on that date, is that,
Yeah.
add it
Yeah,
back?
it will just,
And
the
that-
location.
Yeah.
It's just location, but you can do location anytime,
You
probably.
Yeah,
can,
that's
but
what
I
I'm
can
asking.
add it to this,
That's a big deal.
and it'll go in the paper.
I mean, you should do it a month before, whatever it is.
So Heidi, is there, on the December meeting, I think the public website shows 5, but aren't you starting at 4, so you can do your budget hearing at 5?
Yeah, so that's just the notice for the public hearing part at 5. Our actual meeting does start at 4 yet.
Oh, we're starting
Yeah,
on
so I
the
put the
first.
notice on, I didn't put the agenda for the meeting on yet. I just got the notice on and I got it in the paper because I have to advertise
But
it for the public hearing. But
just your schedule on the public website shows 5.
5, yes, because
But
that's
you're
the
gonna
public
start
hearing,
it-
but we do start it at 4.
4. So doesn't the public notice need to show 4 for your meeting,
Yeah, I thought that-
like the other meetings?
I thought we start at 5 and held the hearing at 6. It has to be at 6, doesn't it?
You can't do the budget too much,
And after 6 p.m. Hey, then I need to adjust that, I'm glad you brought that up, Callie. Do you want to start the meeting at 5?
Sure.
And do the public hearing at 6? Okay.
That
What is
coincides
that,
with the
6 o'clock?
schedule on the Utah.
Right.
website.
Yeah, I'll fix it on there.
Where?
And I'll fix it
Oh,
before,
good.
hopefully get it fixed for it, because the paper
Yeah,
tomorrow is
I'll
already
send
in here,
it.
I'm looking right now.
This is clear.
It's weird.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can do it after that day, anytime you want, but early that day, you just get to.
We better get that in. Okay.
You have to move to approve that, is our schedule?
No,
No.
he said he can decide anywhere we want to be.
No, but
At any
the item on the agenda, we have to approve our schedule.
You can approve the schedule.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the schedule as posted by Heidi.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Right.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay. Thanks, Heidi. Agenda request from Rich. Come on up.
In the last few weeks, I've got several emails about down in the hollow, and it was complaints about the roads. And there is a road down there now, it's not like it used to be. But I think where they're leading is winter access. And there's nothing down there, so I'm just asking the question if they're gonna do anything to.
Were you saying further down in the cabin that has water to it?
Uh-huh.
That's what he's talking about.
And there's
All of
bushes.
that stuff inside the, where he used to little walk.
Yeah, down in-
The continuance area, that's what we're talking about.
The swamp.
It's always been our
Yeah.
policy that
Yeah.
there's, as soon as there's homes there.
Yes.
That's how, but until then, it seems like.
So the ones that are complaining are the ones that are down there now, and everybody's getting all this stuff and they're not?
Well,
Typically, I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Right, no, and I just,
There's two things, I mean, one is the state of the roads, which is a whole separate issue, and then there's the plowing of the roads. So I can see how, I mean, I don't know what our position is gonna be on the state of those, but we haven't had to do anything for almost 30 years. When the water's done, I would assume there'd be some help to improve those roads.
and now they're in good shape.
Down to a certain point, they are.
Well, down to where they put pipe in, I mean, they've done a great job up there below, you know.
Yeah, just that, and
I heard a lot of growth there.
yeah, the water.
So, I mean, as a result of the project, are we actually able to designate roads that we didn't have in the past, that we have now, that the water line's in the road?
They've always been there.
The roads have always been there, they're just been really small and kind of neglected, and they're getting a lot more care now.
And there's been
Platted road.
concern about putting culverts down at the bottom, we're not gonna do that until after spring, right?
Yeah, it's too late to do it now,
Down there.
and,
Because we won't be able to get past there anyway.
I'm gonna have to wait for the runoff to finish happening, and then go in and put the culverts in, so we're certificate of occupancy because they didn't have water, so they weren't there for the most part. They do have water now, and so my intentions are to plow past that cabin so they can get in there.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. Consistent with how they voted.
How you find that?
Thanks for clarifying that.
I'm gonna try really hard.
He's talking to him. There's a couple of other things too, that curve by Dave's house has to be altered, doesn't it, at some point?
At some point,
You have fire trucks down there,
a lot of those turns need to be altered and widened out.
and we know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it too late to put some gravel or some 3-inch rock on that road down to Beaver to try and help during the winter? Because that would be a prime candidate for trying to improve the road condition, especially trying to avoid people getting stuck down there.
That would really depend on the weather over the next week or two. If it warms up next week and the snow melts and makes it kind of muddy, then it'll work perfectly. If it doesn't,
Can't
then
do it.
they can't be done. It'll just roll right off the hill, or I'll plow it down into a pile.
Yeah. I mean, if you get the chance, I'd suggest putting some 3-inch down there, if possible, because that makes a huge, I've said this before, but it seems to make a huge difference on the road, on ours, and where you've done it. It seems like the road's much more manageable, in my opinion.
It's just that the road's not in the right shape right now, Paul, it's frozen. Anyway,
No, I get it, that's what I'm saying, if possible, if it warms up, I suggest that you try and get it done, but I recognize it may not happen.
we'll be steady with it, because, back to Rich.
I think, and the last thing I had is down below the canyon side where that big leak was,
Yeah.
is cleaning that up so the water doesn't get into the culvert. Is that right?
Yeah, you got it, down.
Okay.
I talked with
Thank
Mike about
you.
it.
Okay. Then that's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
As long as you're talking about it, so. Brandon, are you gonna be able to put some more gravel where you come off the highway into the
Yeah.
parking lot?
I'm gonna take some,
Bigger and
I'm
bigger
gonna take some
from the
propane and
summer.
shade and put it right there.
Yeah, there's a big hole again, although you filled it earlier in the year.
Okay. Here we go. You got your book out?
So, back to what Leo just said a minute ago about creating new roads that we didn't have. There is one road right there above Liam's place on that grass hill where it goes out to where that concrete pad is.
Yeah.
And I know they kind of made a road to put that water line in, but I don't know if we can call that a road until it's been, I don't know if we can take that over at this point, or
No.
the landowners need to make the road and then turn it over to us.
I think it's not a road. I think it's a cluster of
Yeah.
homes, like a cul-de-sac.
Right.
And that there may or may not be some access easement that those owners have, and that would be the road. Because if you look on the map, there's just highway that goes around, there's no
Yeah.
chute up.
Right, so that's what I was saying, because I've had people asking me if we're gonna go in and build that road up, and
Well,
my understanding is we're gonna they need to do it. and then
It's
turn
the
it over.
responsibility of the developer to make the road and then to turn it over to us, that's the whole subject. I mean,
If the homeowners were smart and organized, what they would do is they would get Rollins
Yep.
before he starts next
well,
year,
yeah, next year.
and figure out what he's gonna charge, because you actually wanna bring the road to where,
Yep.
the pipes in the roads, you wanna bring the roads first to where they need to be.
Definitely.
So he could do that probably for very little, his hose gonna be right there,
It's gonna be
and
there.
it's just gonna be taken from surrounding dirt and a little fill that they need.
Are you talking about that hill?
Wherever, any of these,
Yeah.
anywhere he's working, he's gonna have his hoe right there, and he should improve the road first, but it should be paid for by the owner, so he should say, hey, it's gonna take me a day.
What's the name of the guy in town for
$200.
Tablet? He was the one that said, you're gonna build this road, I said, no, I'm not.
There's Tanner, there's some other guy.
Tanner and somebody else, and Tanner's been pretty reasonable
Like
with
Cat
me.
Mark.
Yeah, he is too, but he just has
Talking
questions.
about it, yeah.
Well, you give me Tanner's information, I'll tell him what we propose, that they do with Rollins, that's a good idea, Shane. Cause there's probably.
Isn't that a road that was for access to those lots, and we never used it, but now it's a water line?
It wasn't one.
I don't think it was ever a road, it looked more like a four-wheeler trail.
It's more like a cluster of lots that,
You have to look at the plat.
yeah.
Yeah, get with Cindy, huh?
Plat might
Get with
be
Cindy.
close to the road.
It is a road and it's got a name.
Yeah.
It is?
What's the name on
It's like Balthasar or something like that.
Okay.
It's funny, because that road there changes 3 different times.
I want all the dirty jobs, forget it. I just,
Free to take.
where do you go, oh, you're lost?
Page 3 in the bottom.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
Dirt's dirt.
I don't know what he planned.
Still dirt.
Potatoes. That's great.
All right.
Okay, next.
So we're on to the water system status. We fixed almost every leak in our system. There's some minor, small leaks right now that everyone I've talked to says they're not worth chasing. It's just so small. The tank is built, should be backfilled today, to be done with that. We have to do a leak down test and pass that on the new tank in order to get it approved through the state. So when they pour concrete, it cracks leak. They put, it's called Tyvek in this concrete, so when it does crack, it seals itself up. And it's just taking a little while for that to work because of the temperature. And so it's losing like 1/4 of an inch over 24 hours.
But in the beginning, they were losing a lot more.
Yeah, they were losing a couple of inches in 24 hours. So
They're
as soon
pretty
as
concerned.
as soon as it slows down to 1/10 of an inch within 24 hours, then the state can give us a operational approval on that tank and we can use it.
Are they gonna have to do anything else to it?
No, it's done.
When did they backfill it first? Why?
Why didn't they?
Why do they? Before you do your leak down test?
So we actually tried to do the leak down test before it was backfilled. We didn't want to backfill until we got it approved through the state. But being that it's almost winter, we figured it was a huge safety risk to have a 16-foot deep hole over
You don't
there.
want
and have
cross-country
some
skiers
skiers.
dying up there, falling in the hole. Did you ever see how deep that was?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I haven't been up there at all.
So yeah, we all wanted to leave it on
One
very.
of the nicest, it's like the nicest place in the whole resort, actually.
That's cool.
Gorgeous.
I've taken pictures after pictures after
Yeah.
pictures.
Cool to watch it go.
So Forest Service Spring is flowing at roughly about 40 gallons a minute right now. We upgraded it from the 1-inch meter up to a 4-inch meter to make it flow a little bit better, hopefully to keep it operational longer. The pumper spring, in our next meeting, I'll have a better update on how well that's flowing, because we've had it shut off for a week to replace the pumps and motors and all of that stuff in there, and some of the outgoing and ingoing lines.
So do we have 2 pumps now?
There's 2 pumps in there.
2 pumps operational or one second just ready to be replaced?
So
Either.
temporarily through this year, we'll have one that runs on automatic and one that I can go turn in manually if I need to. And as of next year, when the project completes, both of those pumps can run simultaneously or by themselves, depending on what the computer tells them to do.
No more down into the creek.
Back to the water tank, so is it likely the water tank to be added to the system like soon, or?
So
Tested.
if I can pass a leak down test next week, then I just gotta call the engineers, they get a hold of the state, they bring somebody down to look at it and verify it, and then they give you an operation. I'll obviously have to take a new bacteria test out of it and all that
That's
stuff.
what I'm gonna ask you. Did you take one bacteria test?
We've taken 2 bacteria tests out of it, and they both passed.
Good.
But as water sits stagnant doing leak tests, we just want to
Sure. Yeah.
Do you have a test schedule for, so I guess I'm trying to size up the odds that we'll have that water this year, this winter.
I
If we need
think
it.
so, yeah. But I can't guarantee that, I'm not gonna promise you.
But you can guarantee that you will be doing a leak down test next week?
I'm going
For the
to,
results?
I'm going to check it every 2 days until it passes the leak down test, and once it passes that, then I'll go with.
And with that extra pump, you know, you can put on, you know, but tell them how fast the tank filled after you fixed the leaks all over the place.
2.5 days from 3 feet in the bottom.
How long was it then before that? 2.5 weeks?
2 weeks.
You're not kidding, they found so many.
Good job.
And
Nice work.
that's the money that David approved for us to have the leak guys come up here and paid off really well. I mean, they found monster leaks. What was the biggest one he found? 70 gallons a minute?
I think it was roughly 60, and then the other one around the corner from it was another 30.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. And there have been many others.
There's been many others, and there will be more. The pipes from the 70s, there's a lot of it glued together and just not in the best condition.
Tell them about that 4-inch. What? In the ground everywhere. There's one down in the village.
There's 2 in the village.
2 in the village.
And then
The
there's
services, so it's just kind of even out over.
Yeah. When he told me he filled up that tank and whatever you said, I said, there's no way. And you have to understand too, that a lot of this stuff, when he does this test, he got to drain our tank to fill up the tank, the new tank to do it. So there have been some inconsistencies in the water availability, but we've tried to keep as much as we can flowing, and I don't think it's been too bad.
I don't think I've had to kill anybody's water for more than an hour or two, for the most part. And I don't think they'd noticed it by the time I had it back on.
And it's a situation where Brandon and Brady and myself have been following these guys pretty close to keep moving.
And Heidi sending out the,
Yeah, oh yeah.
that helps.
I think it's gonna go away now, that's what I just think, we won't need to email anymore. We have the water on.
Gotta find something else to email us about.
Right?
Yeah, but it's really pretty phenomenal what the contractors and these guys have pulled off this summer. It's really good.
Okay, so roads, like we've talked about, there's some that need a lot more work, there's some that are a lot better. And we're just gonna keep plugging away on that, doing what we can. Right now with the ground being frozen, there's not much we can do for grading because it'll just start making a bigger mess than not. Because you have to get up down to 6 inches deep to get through the frost where it's at right now. The equipment status, the 4-wheel drive broke on the white truck yesterday. Other than that, I think all our equipment is pretty well tuned up and ready to go for the winter.
On the white pickup, the nice pickup?
Yeah.
Was that warranty?
No.
Not a warranty?
I think that's a warranty.
Yeah, but we've done some things with that truck to keep it, so we can buy a new one too. It needs to be fixed, but it's kind of interesting. The guys have got the blower attached to one of the loaders already.
No, the new one's on that one.
Yeah, the blower's there, and the other one's ready to go to change. If you want to see something fun, watch the circus, the guys putting chains on. Shane's guys and these guys are 5 guys up there. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how one person ever did it.
You can do, I did one by myself last year, and I don't recommend it. Those chains are heavy, like 200 pounds.
They have all kinds of breaker bars, and there are really some foul words going around every once in a while. Get up there, you sucker. That was fun to watch.
I think that's it on my stuff there, unless you guys got questions for me.
I think you've answered most of them.
In fact, it'd be good for snow removal this winter to have 2 loaders going.
Yes, and our second plow that we agreed to purchase a while ago should be here in the next couple of weeks.
And they've got they've had to pay quite a bit of money to get the connections, so everything's interchangeable for both machines.
So if we lose one motor, we can still run all of our other equipment, or if one of the things breaks, we can still.
So you have one blade or one bucket or 2 blades?
Well, we'll have 2 blades, one snow blower and 2 buckets. So we should be able to move through a bit more snow.
Yeah, you say there's no.
Don't, careful what you wish for.
Shane wants it.
Well, we all want it. I want it. I don't want it breaking my windows in my cabin. See, turn my chimney off.
I just said no.
There was quite a bit of snow damage. There was up the village this last year.
Exploded home.
You'll have to plow you on Jesus.
Did the hammer on the home got destroyed.
So Brandon, so we got the boat moved.
I seen that.
Will you guys be able to midweek pull snow out of those parking lots and dump it down there now?
Yes. For the most part, yeah. I'm gonna try to keep.
Move the stuff.
Yeah.
So, keyword.
There was a boat down there?
For 3
Yeah.
years. For 3 years. It wasn't hurting anything, but we talked about Brandon being able to, when it's busy, he's gonna clear the parking lots, but midweek, actually come in and pull that snow out of those small parking lots and be able to dump it over that edge, but he couldn't with the boat being there.
I think the best thing we have now, and it's gonna be on, Brandon told me the blower would break down all the time. But if we have a situation like we have, we don't have any place to put the snow, that's why we got the blower. So we don't pile it up in places we couldn't. What's that?
For cutting back.
Yeah, for cutting, yeah. we're cutting back.
Well, if you start with the blower, start the way you plan on continuing the whole season,
Yeah.
That's right.
then
Well, and with
you're gonna be gold.
2 loaders too, we can pull it into the road and then shoot it out instead of trying to
Well,
dig
then
into that bank.
you got it down, bro, thank you.
And I got backup parts for the snow blower, just so when it does go down, it'll hopefully be for a minimal amount of time.
What is it?
The part,
No, the blower.
it is a,
Big.
what the heck is the name of that?
Bandit Beaver, the same.
No, it's a Idaho something, I can't remember the exact name.
The Idaho boys again. We know them, don't we? One's up in Burley.
I don't know if you know or not, I think it's your internet, there's a bulb where half the lid is missing and it's concrete. I tried to move it this morning, on that road, right next to the lodge.
Bottom of the stairs at the lodge, on the corner of our parking lot and the lodge right there,
By the
next to the road.
The propane tank?
Right behind the propane tank.
Okay.
It's fallen down onto
I
it.
didn't notice it, Joseph.
Okay, I'll take a look at it, so, thank you.
That is your internet vault, right?
Should be, yeah.
Maybe seal the pyramid.
What's that?
Seal the pyramid. Never know. Okay? Let's see. Fire department.
Haven't heard anything from George, Lance, do you have any report?
Mark's having training up there, we've, invited a new person, and, she jumped right in, and Jack and Mark and, another person did some good training. Yeah, up there, so, Mark's the man. I'd say if we gave any kudos, the firehouse captain, Mark Dresky.
Good.
Truck doesn't have very good turning radius. I drove it a couple of weeks ago.
A new one?
Like turning the Titanic.
Did y'all know we have a new truck? Yeah, yeah, they got it, was it Sanders, no, what did they do? Full of
It
rocks.
got nicknamed the Beast.
The beast? Huh?
I'm not sure where they picked it up
He
at.
told me where they got it, but, Calvert, yeah, that's right. So that was a good thing. Now we got 2 of them.
Oh, yeah.
George and Beaver Fire is good for us.
We got a report last week on the fire department. Who was that who gave it to us?
Last time when I wasn't here,
Yeah.
who was it?
Jack.
Jack.
Jack was good.
Jack.
Jack was good. He
I
left.
was wondering, all I could think of was Lance, and I knew Lance commented, but Jack gave us the fire department.
Okay,
There you go.
right. Water rights.
I don't have anything new on the water rights.
Why not? Geez, Bill. Shane, there's gotta be stuff going on in your place.
We're gonna start making snow this weekend, might have it tonight, might have it tomorrow. December 15th.
Same date, same time, same place. Good. Okay. We don't have any reason for a closed session, so,
We were gonna talk about water meters.
oh, yes, for sure. Yeah, Brandon and I, we've been looking at all this stuff and the options of what we're looking at, and we are gonna do meters. Okay. So go ahead with that.
So, between the 2 companies that we pretty well picked between, one is Simple Sub, it's a non-invasive, water meter system that clamps on the pipe and reads it through ultrasonic. You don't have to have a power source or a plumber come install it, and the pricing on it, you get a discount the more you buy, and I kind of just did the total number off of the assessment number that I got from David, which, so this number will be lower if we decide to go that route, because I did it at 375 units, which obviously we don't have that many, which would be $92,531, and then it's $5 a month per unit to operate those. The other one is $61,875, and also $5 a month to operate those. But those ones you have to get a plumber to come in and cut all your pipes, put the meter in, and then you have to get a power source to them all.
You have to have a meter fit.
No, it can go inside the building, but
Okay.
it requires power and a plumber, which I kind of did some simple math on it, and I think you're about sixes, depending on which one you go with, by the time you pay for the plumber and the electrician.
None of these go to meters in them right now.
No, they all go inside.
Suspend the meters.
Inside their house. I think if we make a decision on these, I think we should suspend the meter pit and just require a curb stop so that I can still shut a thing off, but not require a meter pit. Right. But that's obviously a decision for you guys. I was just presenting the price of these meters.
So we made a test this, we get a couple of make sure they're working, everything's over.
So, I think it's the simple sub one, they offer kind of a trial to, like, you gotta buy 4 of them and try them out, and then if you don't like them, they'll refund you the total amount.
Tell them about the battery.
So, as long as you're paying the $5 per month, both of these units are pretty much 10 to 15 year warranty. The batteries are lifetime warranty as long as you're paying your payment.
Those simple batteries just plug into power.
No, it's a lifetime battery. It kind of recharges off the ultrasonic stuff.
Tell them how it's reported.
So both of these companies really, they read it and then they put together the paperwork and report it back to the district. They can also handle billing if wanted.
They read it in person,
No, it's all reads through cellular and radio signal on both of these meters.
which we don't have in the back.
So both of them said that they don't require very much signal, so it's something that your phone wouldn't be able to pick up.
You better test.
That's why we're getting the floor.
But their warranty also covers that if it doesn't work, they'll send in a booster to make it go.
Sounds great, I think we should have.
Yeah, they'll do that.
And I think it's gonna improve, because we are gonna get another server up on the mountain. You are gonna get some more servers in that way soon.
But it's just right now it's just the 911 service.
Yeah, and there's more coming.
Okay.
That's much.
So,
That's what Brandon does.
can I ask
Sure,
a question?
that's what Brandon.
So we're talking about spending almost $100,000 to find 3 or 4, maybe 10 people that use too much water and increase our bill?
That's not the purpose.
Okay.
But that seems like, that's the thing, we wanted meters for some reason, I think, and some people think others are using more water.
Well,
but
and the issue is
We
billing.
also need to figure out an algorithm.
And then it's all about
to be able to
billing,
give it
guys.
to someone else to figure out how to take the
What you
data.
use.
Yeah.
My big issue
Charge off.
is that it's starting to be required by the state. It's kind of
It's
required.
It's coming down.
And they haven't said officially like it has to be done, but they've hinted it out more than once that
Well,
it's
you
going
think
to
about
be
what you're doing
required.
right now in the news every day about water. Conservation, even when you won't have to. So, I mean, so that's the biggest thing for us is that, Lance, to make it more equitable for everyone.
But then when you find out where the leaks are too, you find out pretty fast if you're running that much water through your place.
Unless you're not leaking.
It would help to find out if there's a leak in somebody's place when they weren't there for sure.
Sure.
Isn't that part of it though? Don't they have leak detection?
Yeah, so both of these meters, if for some reason there's an abnormal amount of flow or
Pop up something.
something pops up, it'll send me an alert and say possible leak at this address or whatnot.
And Rich is the one that brought this to us. He did the research on this. So,
I would say we get some, fantastic.
yeah,
I'm going to try to get a sample from each of these, or do you want me to go with, which one do you want me to go with?
I think the one we talked about first.
The simple stuff?
Yeah.
But not in
The non-invasive?
Yeah, not in line.
I'll get a hold of them and get a couple coming.
If that's okay with the board, they're asked.
Yeah, I guess it seems like it's incidental, what is it?
92,000.
So they're
Well,
a couple $100 a piece.
These are the downloads, right?
Yeah. Grab the samples and give them to them. You got sample money that we said? You do have samples, Dave?
Why weren't meters part of the project cost?
They were
They are
50,000 for the
originally
project line item, but not for all the meters, that was meters to the buildings and the homes. That was in your,
Well, we need to find out what was budgeted, don't we?
Yeah.
you can pull it, it's on that master plan at the end where it has all the line items, you'll see your figures.
Okay.
And this close to $100,000 number I gave you is
have to have a, what's she called?
Grant writer?
Yeah, grant writer, and she's gonna charge us, so we need to decide to what degree we're gonna, how far we can go before we can get the grant, but
Yeah, there's lots of options on what she can do, so.
wouldn't that be nice? And it helped in getting her attention by the water project we're doing.
Yes, she said that would definitely help with the grant because it shows that we're already pushing for improvements.
Yeah.
The specific grant that she identified fits our community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it? I told Brandon we only probably got, the leaks are now under the asphalt.
We'll figure that out when that comes.
That's what he said. Okay. So you'll go ahead and check on those.
Yeah, I'll look into that today.
Okay. And we'll talk to you after the meeting about
Yeah.
that grant rate. Okay. Anything else?